cut the coupons, cut the subscriptions, don't go out to eat
Yeah.
as much.
Yes.
Fantastic. But that's not the road to financial freedom.
So what I love about the maxing trend is that it's putting your focus on, hey, where can I save? What it's lacking is how do I put my money to work?
So today's episode, we are talking about the latest, I guess, viral TikTok social media trend. You've probably seen it. You've scrolled past it. It's the latest maxing, right? We've been looks maxing. We've been fiber maxing.
Everything's a max.
Everything's a max. Well, now we are money maxing. The basic idea here is you spend less, you save more, automate where you can, get the most value out of every dollar. And I'm thinking, most of these ideas have been around, right? They are not new things. They are things we've certainly discussed on this podcast multiple times. But here you've got millions of people now embracing this trend. And maybe the advice isn't new, but it's certainly worth talking about, which is why we've got Mical Jeanlys-White back with us today.
Thank you, Josh. It's great to be back.
I texted her, I said, money maxing. You want to talk? I said nothing else. Money maxing. You want to talk about it? Yes.
Yes.
I'm in.
Yes.
What's old is new again?
You know,
What do you make of this?
viral moments are cool. If a generation wants to put a new cool label on it, rebrand it in terms of something that's catchy and can go viral, I'm all for it. But I don't want it to be just a moment.
Right. So my question is this actually helping people build wealth, or is this just like the latest thing, or is it just being frugal with a trendy name? Like where does this fit in?
What I love about it and where I think it has so much merit is because this has been the easiest time in history to spend money. It's dangerously easy to spend money. And this generation is probably the first generation to have no real relationship with cash. Everything
Mm,
is like a click and a button. So it is so easy to be sort of separated from the money you earn and how quickly it goes out the door. So if this trend sort of puts the microscope on just how much you're spending and where your money is going, and if it does it in a way that's not as like tedious as budgeting, let's do it.
right. Because you and I know
People don't want to budget.
people don't want to sit there and make a budget.
No. So if they feel like money maxing is their way to sort of be hyper focused on their money and what's happening with it, I say let this trend stick.
But do you think that this is actually something that could help people build sustainable habits? Because that's
Yes.
what's key here,
You
right?
should be maxing your money anyway. Your mind should be on your money and your money should be on your mind.
Ooh.
Y'all know where that one's from. That should be happening anyway. You should be looking at how much money you're bringing in. You should be looking at where it's going. You should have a point of view about how you're spending. Am I spending too much? Is something worth my money? And then you should be maxing the growth of that money. Lazy money does not serve you. So, what I love about the maxing trend is that it's putting your focus on, hey, where can I save? What it's lacking is how do I put my money to work?
And when you say putting your money to work, what do you mean?
So, there's a focus on high yield savings accounts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see as much of a focus on investing. High
Mhm.
yield savings is great for building an emergency fund, but that next layer needs to be about how do I max my money to build wealth? And that's the investing piece that's missing. Max the money, figure out how to reduce the spend, right? You need to live below your means. So figure out how to make sure you have enough money to save and invest. Great. If you need to build a 6-month or 3-month emergency savings fund, do that through a high yield savings account. And then the next step is to take the additional money and start investing. I always say take it off the top. I'd rather you say, this is the amount of money I want to save and invest off the top, and then figure out how you spend the rest.
So, okay, so this idea that, it's focusing on, yes, let's spend less, which is great,
Which is great.
fantastic,
Yes.
or put your money into an account like a high yield savings account,
For the
which
emergency fund.
we love.
Yep.
Okay, that's like step 1 and 2. But what you're saying is that's not the long-term
Yeah.
path to
Yeah.
financial success.
Yeah, you should be maxing your money to build wealth. So what's the end goal? I'm maxing the amount of money I make in order to have money to build wealth. so I can put my money to work. And how do I get the most amount of my money at work?
That I feel like that's one of my biggest pet peeves when I'm scrolling on what do they call FinTalk, right? All the
Yeah.
everyone's a financial influencer now, by the way, which
Yep.
is
Problematic.
a
That's a
whole
whole
nother
nother
thing,
story.
right? Because I mean, I don't think most of them are. You just shared a Wall Street Journal report on LinkedIn a few days ago
I did.
where they went through a lot of these people who have huge followings and they sit there and wax poetic with their advice, and
No
most of them don't
license.
have any qualifications.
None at all.
Not to go off on a total tangent.
Yeah.
But what irks me when I see a lot of these is it does focus on like sort of these quick, the easy,
Yeah.
shrink expenses. It misses that sort of the next step, the wealth
The wealth
building.
building. That is that's the most important step. What is the purpose of what I'm doing? The purpose is to build wealth so that eventually the paradigm shifts from you having to work to make money to your money literally throwing off enough income that you can live off of the money that you built and invested, which is generally what happens in retirement. But you want to build as much of that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, like it's great that like yeah, sure, cut the coupons, cut the subscriptions, don't go out to eat
Yeah.
as much, save yourself a few $100. Like
Yes.
fantastic, but that's not the road to financial freedom.
No, that's not where you're going to get the compounding interest, which I love to say is the eighth wonder of the world.
Not enough people
Understand it?
appreciate compound interest, McCall.
I mean, I feel like we need somebody to, like, I don't know, create a jingle, something around it that will stick. But it is literally the eighth wonder of the world. And you are either paying it or you're earning it. So if you are deep in credit card debt, you're paying it. If on your mortgage, on your car note, you're paying it. That's why financial institutions do super well. But most of us are never on the earning side of it. And that's where the investing comes in.
And where, each year that you delay,
You're missing out.
you are missing out because it
It
compounds.
compounds. It is like literally, when people say, how did my credit card debt get so big? Well, that's compounding interest. Now imagine if
Working
it
against
were
you.
exactly. Imagine if you could see, like, how did my investing account get so big? Well, that's compounding interest working to your advantage. And that's why you should start investing, even if it's as little as like $5 and you're doing
Mhm.
it every week because you're getting that benefit and you're building that habit of investing.
Well, then thinking about future self, that's the difference potentially between retiring at 65 or 60
You got it. Or 55.
or 55. Heck.
Right? Or being like, hey, you know what? I'm going to partially retire because I now have that financial wealth and foundation that I've consistently been building.
Hmm.
And you might feel like, oh, it's just $5, it's just $10. But I promise you, you start it and you keep going. And one day you're going to look at this account, you're going to be like, wait, how much of it was money I put in versus what compounded? And I guarantee you that compounding is going to far exceed the amount you put in.
It's sort of turning on that intentionality
You got it.
in this, and I thought that was really great. There was actually a great example, a story on Good Morning America that highlighted a mom of four who she was talking about this and how she automates her savings and she cooks at home more and she tries to avoid those impulse purchases. But she said importantly that money maxing isn't about never spending money. It's about spending intentionally on the
Intentionally.
things that she feels matter.
Yeah. And are worth her money.
Hmm.
There are many things that I see, I'm like, this is not worth my money. So even having that sort of like deliberate connection between, hey, how much money am I earning? Right? Most people are never thinking about if I make 45, let's say I make $50,000 a year, right? You're likely getting paid about $25 an hour.
Hmm.
So if you start thinking about, hey, what it took me to earn $25 or $100, you think a lot differently about how quickly you spend that money.
Yeah, and I've seen that before too. People talking about in terms of like, yeah, if I'm going to go on this trip, that equates to how many hours would I work to actually pay for that
Yeah,
trip? And it is an interesting
mind
shift.
shift.
Yeah, mind shift.
Like, would I spend 4 hours doing this to
Mm-hmm.
purchase this?
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of like, where we've gotten so disassociated from like the cash and the paycheck to how quickly we spend it because, hey, it gets direct deposited. So it just feels like it just came in. And then you're like clicking on
Yeah.
checkout, one click checkouts left and right. And it's like, oh, my card is already on file. Click, click, click.
Yeah. And you don't even have to pull, you don't pull the card out anymore, even when you're at a physical location, right?
Tap.
It's tapping. It's all of that stuff.
It's all of that.
It's made money so intangible, such as
Yeah,
like
it feels
obscure
vague.
vague concept
Yeah.
for people almost. And so I don't, so you look at like the younger people, especially now, Gen
Yeah.
Z, who are really embracing this trend. It's great for them because they didn't grow up. I remember
Yeah.
being handed $20 when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and like that was you could count it
Yes.
out and make
Or,
it last on the week. Yeah,
yes.
right. I don't. Do kids do that
No.
anymore? Do kids get dollar bills?
No, we live in a increasingly cashless society. So that association of like receiving money and sort of handing off money, which creates a bit of like, brain connection that's more succinct, gone. It's gone. And younger people are in apps with delivery fees and things that get tacked on.
Mm-hmm.
So even that, like, it just gets rolled up, right? So they're not even thinking about, oh, I just paid $8 to have my $10 meal delivered.
Hello.
So as they're like door dashing and Uber Eats and they're going for convenience,
Yeah.
if you don't slow down and really look at these receipts and
Yeah.
really look at what you're paying for to sort of consciously say, hey, I could have made that same sandwich. Would have cost me less. Like, was this sandwich worth $20? And you might be like, it wasn't even that good.
It never is. Nicole. Well,
Right? Here and there,
maybe
maybe.
sometimes, but
Right?
for the most part,
Yeah.
usually it comes to me and it's cold and they forgot something.
Something. Yes.
I'm like, I just waited an hour and 45 minutes for what?
Right? And you're like,
Yeah.
is this really worth it?
No, the answer's
And
no.
so if money maxing, and I really do like the word maxing, right? Because it has such a like strong emotion to it
Mm-hmm.
and it's very powerful. Like, how do I maximize this money that I've earned? I think it's great for people to hang on to that. And how do I turn this money into wealth, right? How do I get my money into a position where I'm investing it and it's driving returns for me versus always being in the earner side of things versus like, hey, I want to be able to receive interests and growth. I want to invest in companies and have those companies work on my behalf and share in their growth and their returns. And we are instinctively, from the time like you're probably 4 or 5, the very first time you reach for candy at the checkout aisle, you were already learning how to spend. But
Mm-hmm.
where have we taught you how to invest and think about money differently?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, there is a disconnect, right? And
Massive.
I do think that there is something to be said about why this in particular is striking a chord with people. I mean, you look at the economy right now,
Yes.
you look at inflation, affordability.
Yes.
Heck, I just got the notice that my rent is going up, my
Uh-huh.
lease is up, and I'm like, can we negotiate
You
that?
should negotiate.
I always negotiate, and I
Always
did, and in
negotiate.
fact, I did, and we met in the middle,
There
so
you
it
go.
was worth it. But we continue to see everything is rising,
Yes.
wages are flat,
Flat. And job market is unstable.
and job market is good luck. I mean, it's
Yes.
really tough out there. So
Yes.
there's definitely a correlation there.
Absolutely. We have been running on high inflation for 4 years now,
At
well above the
least,
2%.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
almost as if the Fed has given up on getting back to 2%. Dare I say, have we given up?
Ring ring.
A whole nother conversation. But the reality is, everyone is paying more for their basic necessities. So, be it your groceries, your gas, your rent, your utilities, everyone is paying more, and the salaries are now outpacing these increases. So it is causing people to really think about just how much money. We've seen debt, credit card debt go up as well, which means that people are turning to debt to sort of fill the gap. So it is sort of also meeting this moment of the economy and spending and inflation feels very, well, it has been very sticky, and people are looking for ways to stretch out the money. Like, inflation is a pay cut. It's invisible, but you are feeling it.
And there was Moody's Analytics. The inflation is costing a typical household at least about $300 more a month than it was,
Yeah.
a year ago for the same
Things,
things,
same
the
things.
same things that we were buying a year
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. So you're looking at almost $4,000 in additional like cash outlay. And it's not like you went on a vacation. It's not like
Mm.
you did something special. This is just
You didn't get anything more
essentially
for it, no.
to keep your household running.
And it is interesting too to see, especially with younger people, a lot of younger adults are still relying on financial support from their parents. Or there's these stories now where people are moving back home, and it's not as big of a faux pas, I guess, anymore
Yes.
to move back in with mom and dad. I
Yes.
I could never wrap my brain around that, but it's happening more. I
Yeah.
mean, again, it's sort of a sign of the times, and
Yeah.
trying to stretch those dollars, right? If you don't have rent to worry about, or I don't know what kind of what kind of
Yeah.
agreement you've worked out with mom and dad at home, but that's another way that a lot of
Yeah.
people are trying to stretch their money.
Yeah, we talked about this on one of our All the Wealth episodes in terms of like people moving back home. And what we really sort of, try to underline and highlight in this is that if you are doing it, really optimize that opportunity. So if your parents are generous enough to allow you to move back and live rent free, take that money, save it, invest it. Too often, that's not what we see
Mm-hmm.
happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not,
I mean, talk about a squandered opportunity. And not saying
it
that
is.
everyone does that, but yes.
It's not happening the way we would like to see, right? So if
No.
your parents are kind enough to allow you to move home, and that is saving you $1,800, let's say, a month on rent, ideally you are saving that, not just sort of spending it elsewhere and feeling sort of, hey, I've now been sort of absolved from the pressure of paying rent. Hopefully, you're using that as an opportunity to max your money because they literally are giving you money, to be honest.
Back into your account that
Back
you
into
can
your
do
account.
with it what you will, and hopefully maybe you're investing, as we've
Yep.
discussed, the missing piece of this money maxing puzzle.
My recommendation to parents is to collect the 1800 and hold on to it.
Yeah.
You can put it in an account that we all have visibility into.
hmm
But all too often, what I hear from parents is they're still here. We
Yeah,
don't see the progress that was
yeah,
promised.
yeah,
And it feels like, they're just happy to not have that burden.
yeah.
But we were trying to help and we're not seeing that
Yeah.
come
This is
together.
failure
So,
to
how do you
launch.
sort of create a process to make sure it's a win win? And I have been in that situation.
You have.
Yes. And it was super helpful. Like, it was like, great. And I volunteered that because I was like, hey, like, I'm going to
Not
move back
everyone's you.
home.
Not everyone's like you, McCall.
But it was a great way to like show respect for the situation and be like,
hmm
no, I really want you guys to see the benefit of this arrangement.
hmm
I really didn't want to go home, but it was just like, okay, well, it's only a year. Instead of me getting a new place, it was like, oh, this is a lot easier. But I
Yeah.
also wanted them to see sort of like the benefit that it was truly a win win.
hmm Yeah, I guess in my head, I'd always looked at it as like, oh, if I ever had to move home, like something had gone horribly wrong. Not necessarily. That's
Yeah.
my own bias getting in the way, but
Yeah.
you can use it to your advantage if you are willing to make that decision
I
and use it
was
to your
on my
advantage.
way out to business school and I was
Yeah.
like, do I really want to like renew this lease? And the timing wasn't going to work. It was like, well, it has to be for a year, but didn't really need a year. And it's like, why do this? Whereas I could like, live at home, spend time with the family.
hmm
But I also don't think it's fair to like freeload off your parents. But that's just me.
What I do think is interesting, and we're seeing this among younger people, Gen Z, is this idea of, because of the financial pressures they are
Yeah.
facing, um, these faster, riskier ways of trying to catch up, whether it's like high risk speculative
Ooh.
kind of investing, or how many people are like on these betting apps now.
Yeah, too many.
Way too many. It
Yes.
makes my like skin crawl.
They're not making money, guys. You're not making money. The
It
data's out there.
If you were making money, these apps wouldn't
Would
wouldn't
crash.
wouldn't exist.
Hear me out. You're not making money. You're losing money. All the data consistently shows that you are losing money. There are many articles out there that is tracking this behavior. You are literally betting on the most obscure things because they allow you to bet on just about anything.
Anything,
And
yeah.
I'm deliberately using the word bet.
And it just makes me cringe
Yeah.
to see the amount of money that people are pouring in, money that when they're
Yes.
already feeling behind and they're hoping for like a quick
Yes.
jolt,
It
and
is
putting themselves
just,
further in the hole.
it is literally like a customized lottery without any of the same number of participants, the historical data. So it's like people are creating like their own sort of little lottery systems and we're calling it investing, but it isn't. Like, let's be super clear about what investing is. When you're buying a stock, you're buying into a company that is producing a product and selling it for a revenue and an outcome. And you are participating in those financial outcomes. That is the stock. And what bothers me about what we're seeing is that we already had people who thought the stock market was gambling. So now when you add this to it, it really muddies the waters, right? So if you're buying Costco, if you're buying into Sunoco, Exelon, like you are buying into a firm that has a product that it is selling for a profit, and you are investing so that you get a piece of those returns, right? So be it dividends that that company pays out or the growth of that stock. This is very different than you betting whether or not the Eagles will go to the Super Bowl, which they will. We
Let's
want
be
them
clear.
to.
Let's be clear.
Let's be clear. Go Birds.
Yes.
But that is very, very different.
Want to play a lightning round?
Sure.
Call it money maxing or just common sense. We're trying
Yes.
some new things
Is
here.
both an option?
Well, I suppose. Well, like let's say
Yeah.
bringing lunch to work.
Common sense. Money maxing.
You can't do both. All right. Canceling unused subscriptions.
Oh, money maxing and common sense.
All right. I didn't think this one totally through. Using a high yield savings account. That's money maxing.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Many people are not doing
I
that.
wish it was common sense.
Yes, it's
actually.
not as common sense, particularly for your emergency fund.
Driving across town to save 3 cents on a gallon of gas. Actually, I don't think that's
Yeah,
either.
that might be foolish.
That was a trick question. Buying generic brands.
That's a good money max. You know, I used to work at Nestle,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll give you guys a little tip about co-packers, right? Literally, there are so many products that are produced and branded, but literally go through a co-packer that can produce the exact same product without the brand.
People's minds would be blown.
Co-packers,
It's all coming off the same line.
same thing. Same thing.
Mhm.
Google it. Co-packers.
But you could save a ton of money.
Yeah. So unless you really feel like there is a difference and that brand is not being co-packaged somewhere, save the money.
Tracking every dollar you spend.
Most of you guys are not going to do that.
Absolutely not.
But if you could at least be cognizant and aware of the dollars you're spending, that would be great. That would be a nice little money flex, money max.
If we had to choose one money maxing habit to start tomorrow, McCall, what would you tell us to do?
Invest. Do not miss out on compounding.
Compound interest.
Yes, don't miss out on
The
it.
eighth
It is your friend.
wonder of the world.
Receive it. Don't consistently pay it.
Look, we've kind of been having fun with it too. I like the advice is not revolutionary by any stretch, but I think seeing people are hungry for some way to take
Yeah.
financial control
Yes.
in a time right now where things feel very unstable. And so, if this is what it takes,
The marketer in me loves it because if that means You can say no to something by just texting your friend, sorry, money maxing. I love it. I really do
Wait a
love
minute.
it.
I think I'm actually, if I don't want to
so
go
love
do
it.
something,
Money maxing.
sorry, can't.
Guys, you don't understand how much I love a good term on a finance thing, because finance rarely gets like a cool, clever term attached to it. So if this helps you in terms of like, hey, walking by something, saying no to something, and you say to yourself, I'm money maxing, and that is sort of like the nudge that you need, by all means. I love it.
And I will say, of all the maxings out there, like,
This is a good one.
like the looks maxing, people are like banging their faces with hammers. Mical Jeanlys-White, CEO and founder of Wealthmore, host of all the Wealth podcasts. Am I missing anything? And one of our favorite guests, too.
It's always a pleasure.
You always answer the call, and we always appreciate it. So thank you.